So first, if you take the radioactive substance, so I'll do one thing. I'll take a radioactive substance here. There's a uranium-238, best example. Then, so from here, what I see that I'll get a particles. So this particular particles, what I get, I'll call alpha. Then beta, and next there's a gamma particle. So what is the alpha particle? Alpha particle consists of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Simultaneously, like it's not like they combine outside. From the inside the nucleus only, this alpha particle will emerge out. Then what about beta? Again, we do have two things. This alpha positive particle. No? Again, the beta we have beta plus, beta minus. So what is a beta plus? Positron. Beta minus, electron. And gamma is what? A photon. When I go for this, how do you can, why you are showing like this? So what I do is I'll keep a magnetic field, because the ejected particle will have velocity, and if there is a magnetic field, external magnetic field is there here. So you go back to the b bar into the plane velocity. So positive charge particle will deflect upward, negative charge particles will deflect downward, and those which are neutral, so what happened to them? They just move undeflected here. So how do you come to know that it's undeflected? I will take some target here, I'll keep it here. When this photon, it's a gamma photon, I'll keep some screen, phosphorus screen. So when this gamma photon goes and strikes, fluorescence, I'll get it. This all no? The fluorescence will get the gamma photon. So when I measure this, the path, the different particles here, like alpha and beta, they're having different radii. So they show that they might have different charge and mass. So like this, I'll measure it. So when I keep magnetic field, transverse magnetic field, when I introduce here, I'll see the particles get deflected like this. So I'll measure the radius, from that I'll measure the mass and charge. So what do I notice? That alpha particle. What is the beta particle? One proton it is. Sorry, beta, it's an electron, that one, positron. So what is the positron? Charge of electron, but positive charge. Magnitude will be 1.6 in 10 power minus 20, will be positive. And electrons will be emitted here. So like this, I'll confirm alpha, beta particles will be emitted, and gamma. So gamma is not a particle, still we'll call it. It's a photon. So why do that alpha particle will come? So if you look at the nucleus, which is unstable, this is A, this is A. So 2 protons, so it will become daughter nucleus. There's a parent. It become a daughter nucleus. So 2 protons, and the mass number should decrease by 4, and we'll get alpha particle plus some energy released. What is this? This alpha particle. And this is what? Energy release. And this is a daughter nucleus. Newly formed daughter. This is an unstable parent nucleus. Let's come to the collisions concept later on, because let me introduce you to the radioactivity, because a pure mathematical one. We'll finish off that. Then together all the reactions will put at one place. There'll be a better idea, rather than here again I'll discuss theory, then I have to go for physics collision, then coming back. At a stretch, we'll enter radioactivity, we'll finish off, then we'll come out, then we'll be focusing only on what? The physics concepts clearly. This is what alpha decay. And next we have a beta decay. In a beta decay, there are 2 types of beta decay. The energy release also I'll tell you later on, because it will not help you much here. There are 2 beta decays are there. One, beta minus decay. So inside an electron should be ejected, no? If the electron ejected means the mass number will not change. An electron, so what happened to charge of a proton will increase and will get a one beta particle on this -1 0 you can put it and some energy released here. So this is what beta minus. If you're getting confusion, I'll write it beta minus or nothing but it's an electron. Beta plus number of nucleons what happen will remain same. And plus q that one. So this was the beta decay. Decay I'm using. This is the alpha decay. We'll discuss in detail. And what about the gamma? Why that gamma will come? Gamma is not a decay, so therefore let me not touch it. Still we'll call it say gamma decay. Gamma decay when it will happen after alpha or beta decay if the nucleus, the daughter nucleus, if it is not in a like a ground state, if it is an excited state, to come to ground state what happen is give out a photon. That is what gamma photon. So we don't get gamma independently. Only after alpha or beta decay may happen. After alpha and beta decay may happen that one. So this everything what happen will come under the decay process. So here afterwards the radioactive decay means either it can be alpha, beta, but not gamma. Gamma will not come under the radioactive decay. That one still we write it gamma decay because after alpha decay we see that the daughter nucleus formed. If it is in ground state we don't get gamma decay. If it is in excited state again this nucleus orbital should jump to ground state then give out the gamma photon. So year after decay means alpha and beta. So who will undergo decay? Not iron, not copper, because they're stable, they're middleweight, they're stable. Those which are having binding energy per nucleon less than 8 or around 7.5, they're unstable. To attain stability what they decrease the number of nucleons. And they don't emit one neutron, one proton. Either it should be alpha particle or positron or electron. It's what they can eject. That's about the nuclear decay process, what we call it. Again, K capture is the electron K capture. That will put everything I'll bring in the reaction because here, what is our physics? We should calculate this energy released. We have to write equation, how that energy released here. That will focus after radioactive decay. So let me come for radioactive decay. Now there's a pure mathematics. So I'll take a uranium, plutonium. So all these are what like the substance which are unstable. So to attain stability development, they'll undergo the decay process. Now when I go for this decay, active, radioactive, you can see that one, radioactive. What do you mean active? Which is unstable and which is in a position to undergo decay. So what I do is I'll fill up this substance in a container. Let it be say 1 kg. Here the atoms, what will I give number? Of course, I should not show to make you understand. In that particular some m grams of substance, instead of 1 kg, we'll take m grams of substance. Is it all the atoms? Is it all the nuclei? Are they unstable or only few selected? I'll give number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have that one. Now, is it all are unstable? All the nuclei are unstable or only few are stable? How to decide that? I think you have some basic of radioactivity. Who will undergo first decay? which particular I some got some method where I'm just marked that atoms. Of course, we can't do that nuclei. What happened? I marked it. Then is it complete substance unstable or only few selected nuclei are stable? This was the very first question. What happened? We have to ask ourselves. In the radioactive substance means like if suppose the uranium, you take some 10 grams of uranium. So in that uranium, is it all are unstable? Is it all are unstable or only few selected atoms? So how to determine that particular condition? According to the physics, what we know, also like according to the theoretical ideas, yes, all the atoms, what happen, all the nuclei are unstable. Then to attain stability, what will happen? Everyone wants to what happen, undergo decay. But we are not very sure that why only some atoms will undergo decay, why some will not undergo decay. The science is unable to understand. And the Einstein what happen, strongly opposed. What is strongly opposed that? How come the nature will behave like a chance? I think it should not be treated like a chance, no? The nature should not be treated like a chance. Means like what I put is like all are highly unstable. First, what happened? The one will undergo at the moment the substance is formed, the one will undergo decay. And what about 37? The 37, though it is unstable, will never undergo decay. What do you mean by decay? They start giving alpha beta decay. How it is possible? How the nature can behave? Because all are made up of same uranium 238, all are having same configuration. So for this, what happened? The science is unable to explain, and the Einstein strongly opposed. Okay, this should not be correct because the Newtonian physics will not accept this one. No? Then even till date, we are unable to tell that one. Huh? So don't think that, okay, quantum mechanics, we know, we are able to give explanation. Even the quantum mechanics is also unable to explain that why only that specific atom will undergo decay and why the others will not undergo decay. So we don't have any best explanation till date. Till date means even the research they did almost up to the maximum extent, and they were trying to isolate a group of atoms. That one, and they checked it. No, they didn't get any suitable response here. So the nature behaves in this way. That's what they are concluding. Even till date, if you check all the best research things which are available, no, if you go for ResearchGate and check it, no, we are able to make breakthrough. So for a student who is learning, so what is the best way of explaining things for him is like just accept what is going on. So how do you come to know that one? So I'll just take a radioactive substance. It's available. I think if you go for scientific labs, no, and GM counter called Grieger-Muller counter. You can measure these particles, alpha, beta, altogether the number of particles emitted you can measure. In lab you can do. Of course, it's there in there, but in our college we don't do that one. In a lab, what happen? We can easily do this experiment. This experiment is there, but of course you are not going to do that one. Okay, shall I proceed now? This one. So what are the few questions we'll ask it? What Einstein asked, what happened? We'll just ask ourselves. Which one will first undergo decay? We don't know. Then what is all are unstable? Yes, all the atoms are unstable and belong to same active substance. The first thing is what? Is telling. So the first thing. Then next again. The moment at T equals the substance is available, first what happens? One will undergo decay. The 37 will never undergo decay. Suppose say at T equals 0, nucleus 1 undergo decay. Nucleus 30 or any number 33 may never undergo decay. May never undergo decay means what is the lifespan of nucleus 1? So therefore, lifespan of nucleus 1. Shall I put 0? For what time it will survive? 0 seconds. Lifespan, all of you, lifespan. For what time? Till now, I survived for 45 years. I don't know what is my lifespan. Survival. So what is the survival time of the nucleus 1? 0. What is the survival time of the nucleus 3? I think I'll mark. I'm just consider these two. So what is the lifespan of next year? Lifespan of nucleus 33. It's infinity. Huh? Sir, how come both are made up of, both are having same kind of, both are unstable? We don't know that. What is the lifespan of remaining all other nucleus inside that will vary from 0 to infinity? Lifespan of all other nuclei will be between infinity to 0. Sir, can we identify which particular nuclei will not undergo decay? You said 33. We can't find out which will undergo now only decay or after. So now at T equals 0, it is formed. After 1 day, sir, whether 19th nuclei will undergo decay, we don't know that. So how to study this? So don't bother anything, don't bother which will undergo decay. Just you go for the amount of substance, that's all. So it's like a probability. We are entering into the concept of the probability, that one. Able to understand? So if you can get this idea, I think it'll be in far better position. So what it's telling is like, instead of trying to break our head, just take the amount of substance. So initially at T equals 0, what is the amount of substance? N naught. I'll get into the next part. The second discussion. So what I have is N naught substance. How many nuclei are there? N naught nuclei. How to calculate number of atoms? I think you know enough of chemistry. Even I too also know. So let me say that at T equals 0, the number present is how much? N is equal to N naught. At any instant of time. Some decrease, no? Let the number present be N. So it won't decrease, no? Those which are, see, like again you can say, like, sir, this atom, will it vanish? No, it will become some other substance, some other element. Is that okay? Uranium 236 will become uranium 235. Let's assume that one. So it becomes some other element. Don't think that that will vanish from there. It no longer it is called as that particular element here. So therefore, the number of active samples or time will decrease here. So what it's telling is this particular number of decays depends on what? Depends upon the initial number present. So here, so if you see the rate of decay, that one, so dn by dt, this is directly proportional to the initial number present. And since it's a decay, no, I'll put negative sign. I think your chapter got over, radioactivity got over. The rate of decay depends on what? Depends upon the number present. So this to remove this proportionality, I'll introduce constant called as decay constant. And for different elements, it will be different. Then dn by n equal to minus lambda dt. So the rate of decay depends on what? Depends upon the amount of substance. Now you see that one. What is this dn by dt? Number of disintegrations per second. And what is lambda into n? This is also the same unit, no? So what is lambda into n? Number of disintegrations per second. What is lambda? Lambda is decay constant. So dn by dt, what we should call? Number of disintegrations per second, or number of decays per second, anything, or rate of decay. It is directly proportional. Means you take 1 kg substance, you see more alpha beta particle. You take 0.1 kg substance, you see less. So therefore, the number of decays per second, that what I notice depends upon amount of substance. So I'll bring it. And for different substance, I see that dn by dt is different. So therefore, I brought the lambda. So let's integrate now. This will be dn by n equal to minus lambda into dt. At t equals 0, what is the number? N naught. At an instant of time, let it be n. So this will become log of n by n naught minus lambda t, or this n by n naught equal to e to power of minus, and n is equal to n naught e to power of minus lambda t. What is n naught? The number present at any instant of time t. What is n? Number decayed or number survived? This is a number survived. Number of nuclei present at any time t, or the numbers survived of n naught. How many are there? N are present, number of nuclei present at any time t. How to calculate the number decayed? Number of nuclei decayed. I'll write n dm. This should be equal to n naught minus n. So this will be n naught e to power of minus lambda t. Okay, so the number decayed what will vary with the time in this particular fashion. So this particular, I'll multiply the lambda on the both sides for this equation. What is lambda into n will become activity. So therefore, now look at the activity. The activity, some books they use word R. So I'm using A naught as symbol. So the activity, that one. So what do you mean by this activity? Let's plot graph so that we'll get some better information. So if I plot first it is n naught. This is what n survived, no? So at t equals 0, the number survived is n naught, and with the time, we'll get like this. What is this n? Number present at any time. At different places, I'm representing number of nuclei at time t. This is what the n I'm showing. So you look at this. What is this substance? All the nuclei. So it's an active sample. You take 1 kg substance, all uranium-238, and all the nuclei are unstable. You take any nucleus is unstable, and all the nucleus, what happen? All the nuclei, they want to attain stability, but what happen? Only few will come forward to attain stability. And if you look at the whole substance, initially I see more radiation. Then with the time, what happens? The number of alpha beta particles emitted by that will decrease. So what happens? The substance will lose interest in what? In undergoing the decay. Able to understand this activity, or if I plot this, then the number decay, no? Oh, sorry, this is, I should not multiply here. So for activity, I'll multiply this. Now we have here only you write it, ND. No, I think this, you may not agree with this. I'll bring one more. I'll multiply lambda on both sides. Now this will become activity. What is activity? The rate at which number of disintegrations per second that will occur. And what will happen to that quantity? You can see decrease the exponent. Means initially the rate of disintegrations will be more. With the time, what happens? It keeps on decreases. And when it becomes zero, at infinity. So why do it happens? We don't know that. We are all together, what we are able to measure that disintegration. Can we measure? Yes, we are able to measure. In lab, you can do. This experiment is there. Not for highly radioactive substance. So one which are not much harmful for our human eyes and skin. No? So that particular radioactive substance is kept, and we have a counter. If you keep nearby, you can see the display there. And you have to keep on note down for different instants of time. You start counting that, and you can see that particular graph here. So now, why do the substance will behave like that? We don't know. Why some nucleus, what happen, will come forward to undergo decay, the right at t equals 0. Why they'll never undergo decay? We don't know that. And the same substance, so what do you expect? it should keep on undergo decay. No, I think we expected the curve of this kind. Will I agree? The curve of this kind. So if the curve were like this, what does it mean? Or the activity curve, if it were like this, then the rate of decay constant, no, means at first t equals 0, 10 particles per second are emitted. At any instant of time, when the same 10 particles per second are emitted, but not like that. Initially, you say 10 particles per second. So let me plot this activity curve. If you can understand this, rest all mathematics. If activity curve were straight line, then what you would have concluded? For every 1 second, or if it were like this, sorry, what does it mean? For every 1 second open, the number of disintegrations are constant. In first second, 10, for every 1 second, 100 particles are emitted. Even after 1 hour, even after 1 day, 2 day, after 1 year, the same 100 particles per second would have been emitted, but we didn't get any response for any radioactive substance of this kind. Whereof this particular thing. So this shows that the activity itself will decrease with the time, though it is unstable. So how to discuss such a phenomena? We just take the probability. This is brought from probability here. So rather than discussing for one atom, for one nucleus, better discuss for the whole of a substance. Then it'll be much easier for us to discuss, because if you take the atom which will never undergo decay and you keep on make observation only on that, if it undergoes decay after a t equal to infinity, then gone, no. So what shall we do now? So always you should discuss radioactivity for not for specific group of atoms or a given atom. It should be for all substance, is what is telling. Okay, this is about this one. Next, I'll increase temperature. Anything will happen to this curve? No, nothing. I'll increase pressure. Nothing. I'll increase humidity. Nothing. The external parameters again will not influence this decay process. In a simplest way, the external parameters will not influence this decay process. Nothing to do. The external parameters will not influence this decay process here. Means by varying temperature, density, pressure, humidity, so all those parameters will not influence this graph. You change the conditions, external parameters, you see this graph here. There's one more thing. So the radioactivity doesn't matter like where you perform. It's unstable, it will undergo the decay and finish all. And the number of descent per second will keep on decrease. That's what the third condition will put it. External parameters will not influence the decay process. So I think we need not to bother anything of that kind. Just leave it. So where it is kept, what is the acceleration due to gravity, 9.810, where all you keep it in space or on Earth or any other planet. So what decay should undergo, it will undergo the decay. That's what he's telling this one. Okay, this is the first thing I brought it activity and the number of decays. You will plot the number of decay versus time graph. When I plot this graph, I think it will touch at infinity, no? Number of decay with the time. So here also open the number of decays what happen. When it will become, when the whole atoms will undergo decay at infinity. There's a graph for number of decay here, that one. So when this will become equal to n naught, so when t equal to infinity, that one. So they show that the whole substance will never completely vanish. It takes infinite time here. Let's how to some quantities are needed, no? This particular how to get that lambda, how you measure. So what I do is like, what is the time taken for the number to become half of the initial value? I'll call that as half lifetime. Half lifetime. So as we know formula, n equal to n naught e to power of minus lambda. At t equals 0, it was n naught. After what time it will become n naught by 2? I'll call that as t off. So this will become 1 by 2. So this should be equal to e to power of lambda t off is equal to 2. Or if you send log, take log on both sides, it will be log 2. So what is the t off equal to? Lambda by log 2 it will come. So there's a time taken for the number to become off of the initial value. So what is t?
L2 by lambda, sir.
Lambda by t off, no? Lambda by t off equal to 2.
Lambda into T half, sir. How by?
Okay, this one. Wait, some. Yeah, I'll check the calculation. The time taken for the number to become off, no? Okay, this is okay. 1 by 2 is equal to 1 by e to power of lambda t to power of 1 by 2. So e to power of lambda t 1 by 2 is equal to 2. I'll take log on both sides.
Sir, there you took instead of lambda into you took lambda by, sir. E per lambda into t half equal to 2.
Fourth step, sir.
Oh, okay, this 1, 2, 3, fourth one. Okay, this one. E to power of lambda.
It should be into, sir.
Sorry. Yeah, fine. This will be lambda t1 of is equal to log 2. Log 2 by lambda will come. Yeah. Now you see this. There's a time taken for the number to become off of that one. It depends upon decay constant. Different materials, there are different constant here. Like that, we can go for average also. How to calculate average? How to calculate average of life? So what is the lifespan of few atoms? 0. And what is the lifespan of other atoms? It is infinity. So when I go for the average, no, I think that average will become equal to only 1 by lambda. This I think may not be very important. Just you do remember that may not be. Most of the books, what happened, they derived it. If you want to check it, that one. Half-life is something very important for us. Okay, I'll come for other calculations purpose. So after getting this half-life, so what happened to activity after half-life? A is equal to A naught e to power of minus lambda t, I got it. So what is the activity after half-life? I think the same formula we can use it, no? What is the activity after n half-lives? I'll write it proper. Yeah. Similarly, can we calculate activity after what time the number will become off? Mean this one. So as we know, n equal to after one time, it'll be like this. After n off lives, what is the number? So shall we put n equal to n naught into 2 power of n? What do you mean by n here? N off lives. Say after one off life, how much the number will become n naught by 2? After two off lives, how much the number will become n naught by 4? After 3 off lives, the number will become n naught by 8. After like this, n off lives means just I'll put like this. Then similarly, what happened to activity? You multiply lambda. Then activity will become a naught by 2 to power of n. So what is the activity after n off lives? This is the formula. Similarly, the number decayed after n off lives. The number decayed, what is the formula? N naught minus n. N naught to power of n. So this will be what you should call this number decayed after n off lives. Similarly, Okay, there's a thing. Do remember the number decayed after n half-lives means you should not write n naught by 2n. The number present. This is number survived after n half-lives. How many nuclei decayed after n half-lives? So you should write n equal to n naught 1 minus 2 to the power of n. So these are some generalized formulas which will be exclusive using that one. Of all this activity. So what is activity now? Disintegrations per second. We define like this. Number of disintegrations per second is what we call that one. So once again I'll write it. It is called as activity. Number of disintegration per second or number of decays per second. So like this open will introduce a quantity is called like a number of disintegrations per second here. So now if you look at this number of disintegration, this is something very large, no, practically. So how to express this number of decays per second? So we do have units. Like since the disintegration per second will be very large. So what we do is like a one disintegration per second, we'll call it as a 1 becquerel. So since the disintegrations are very large, so 1 curie, the one unit what will propose it, 1 curie will become equal to 3.7 into 10 to the power of 10 becquerel, or 1 becquerel is 1 disintegration per second. The SI unit for disintegration per second is what? 1 becquerel. I think the pronunciation of this will be BECQEREL. 1 DPS only we call it 1 becquerel. Since I see large number of particles, so to make it unit small weapon, I'll bring curie. 1 curie is what? 3.7 into 10 to the power of 10 becquerels, or disintegration per second. So this is SI unit for the, you can say SI unit is becquerel. So since it is a very small, like a more number of decays will occur, no, to make it small. So we are bringing the unit called as 1 curie here. So most of the answers, if you see we'll express in terms of curie, because we see particles of these many. Suppose in one of the decay what happen, 10 to the power of 14 particles per second what happen will be given out. So expressing that large number is a big problem. To make it small, we bring the curie idea, this one. So this is about the theoretical introduction part. So tomorrow we'll just focus on the numericals, that one. Just you can read once SE1, I think he has given very systematically. Most of the things I just discussed from there only. Then you can parallelly start doing numericals. And all these are math based, nothing to do, you see. All equations you have, just math based here. So tomorrow I'll start with the numericals one. Tomorrow I think we'll wind up this radioactivity. Okay, thank you all of you.